Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Flintstone X-Man from the FPL Stats. Once again, thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you so much, guys, and welcome. I hope you're gonna enjoy this one. I enjoy making these videos for you guys. So let's talk about game week 22. I mean, the last time I spoke to you guys was game week 19, and I gave you a 3-game strategy. Game week 19, 20, and 21, which I followed to the T. And guess what? Your boy scored 221 points in 3 game weeks. I went from a ranking of 130 to 18,000. I'm in the top 18,000. In game week 19, I got 90 points because I told y'all, do not sleep on Man United assets. Told y'all, don't sleep on Man United assets. I had both of them and they did fairly well. And obviously all of us had Trent Alexander-Arnold. And then in game week 20, I got a decent 74 points because I captained Mane. Wish I had captained De Bruyne, but I'm happy with the Mane captaincy. Only cost me 6 points. And then game week 21, I got 57, which is decent enough. I'm happy with it because it's above the average. Oh, and by the way, in the past 3 games, I scored 70 points more than the average. Your boy is in the top 18k. Well, I'm not in the 18k. I'm actually in the top 19 because I'm 18,015. So, but anyways, we run down in this situation. So I'm in the top 18k. I don't care what you say. I'm in the top 18k. It's good to be here. I'm gunning for the top 10k. I'm 100% seriously gunning for it. And then after that, we'll see where we go. Okay, so we need to talk about game week 22, game week 23, game week 24. And those of you who know, I have this Excel spreadsheet because you know us, we're the FPL Stats channel. We excel, that's how we roll. And basically, guys, this is the tool that I use, if you know. And if you want me to share this tool with you, I will, with pleasure. All you gotta do is subscribe and like, and then just comment and say, dude, hook me up with the spreadsheet and I'll hook you up. I mean, even if you don't go with the suggestions, you can just use it. I'm a Zulu man, so I can't really say suggestion. I say suggestion. So if you don't agree with the suggestion, you can use the tool and make up your own mind because it has nice data. So let's go ahead and speak about game week 22. First thing is that obviously I sort the teams on the FPL difficulty ratings, and then I'm going to focus mainly on these guys at the top, and then I'm going to try find outliers down there. At the very top is Chelsea. They're playing Burnley at home, a team which they scored 4 goals in their away fixture and conceded 2. And last season in this exact fixture, Chelsea scored 2, and over the past 5 years they've been scoring 2. And last season they conceded 2 in this fixture. Over the past 5 years, they've been conceding around about 2. Their form, although, is not great when it comes to the goals because they're only scoring about 1 goal per match in the past 3 games and conceding 1. But they've been unfortunate because their expected goals is saying they should have been scoring 2 goals, but they've been scoring 1. So a bit of misfortune there. I'm projecting them to score 2 goals. Hence why I am gonna keep Abraham. I have Abraham, I have Jimenez, I have Vardy. I'm gonna keep Abraham. I was thinking about Willian, but it's a tough one for me to put in Willian because I have Ali here, which I still need to make up my mind on what I need to do with him. But anyways, so that says we need to just think about keeping your Chelsea assets if you have them. If you don't, just think about having them. And then if we look at Chelsea for their next 3 games, right? They have Burnley, Newcastle, and then Arsenal. This is by no means a red fixture for Chelsea, because Arsenal is just they're not great. But who knows, with Arteta on the wheel, who knows what's the situation. But if we look at their next 3 games, Chelsea, last season they scored 2.3 goals, right? So in each of these games they averaged about 2 goals. Over 5 years they averaged 2 goals. Over 5 years they average the 2 goals conceded. And last year they conceded up 1.7 goals per match in these 3 games. And over 5 years they average about 1.4. In the first leg against these 3 teams, they averaged about 2 goals per match and they conceded 1 goal. And obviously I spoke about their form. They're only scoring 1 goal per match, and their expected goals about 2 goals. And in the next 3 games I'm expecting them to score about 2 goals per match. So not only should you keep Abraham for this game week, he's decent enough that you can keep him for like the next 3 games, I think, anyways. But anyways, it's your call. And then you have Everton. Everton, Ancelotti's been taken over. Ancelotti's on the wheel, man. And they'll be playing Brighton at home, a team which they scored 2 goals in their away fixture, but unfortunately they conceded 3, so they lost that game. So this is going to be somewhat of a grudge match. When we look at what they did last season, they scored 3 goals last season. Over 5 years they averaged almost 3 goals, right? And then they conceded about 1 last season. They conceded 1 last season in this game against Brighton at home, and then over 5 years they conceded about 0.5 on average, conceding in 50% of those games. Their form though is not great. Even though it's like 2-2-2s and 3s, their form is saying they're scoring only 1 goal per match, and their expected goals, their measure, is only 1.4. So, but I'm expecting them to score a little over 1.5, 1.5 goal. I know it's 1 game, you can't possibly score 1.5 goal, but it's more likely that they'll score more than 1 goal than it is that they'll only score 1 goal. So looking at this, right, given that they've been scoring like 3 goals, 2 goals in this fixture, it makes sense if you look at, you guys should know this, fplstatistics.co.uk. It's a very good website. That's where I check my price changes. If you look at the forwards, sorry about the noise, someone has a motorcycle outside. If we look at trends and we look at like forward trends, this is what you can see. Look at this. Well, obviously Kane is injured, so a lot of people are selling Kane. And guess who they're buying? A lot of people are buying Calvert-Lewin. And that makes sense if you look at these numbers. It makes perfect sense. But then again, there's also Richarlison. Right? There's also Richarlison. Let's look at trends when it comes to midfielders. It's probably Ali for Richarlison. I told you it's Ali for Richarlison. Ali for Richarlison. So, and this makes the reason why it ties up to my numbers basically. But then if we look at Everton for the next 3 games, because the thing is I don't like getting players for 1 game. They have good games. I mean, they're gonna play 2 home games, and they're gonna play West Ham, a team which is bap. And if we look at their numbers, last season they scored 2 goals per match against these guys. Over 5 years, they averaged 2 goals per match in this fixture. And when it comes to, I'm looking at attackers. Last season they conceded 0.7. Over 5 years, in these fixtures, they conceded about 0.6. Keeping clean sheets in 55% of the games. Wow, over 5 years. That's monumental. In the first leg, they scored an average of 2 goals per match against these teams, conceding 1 goal per match. I spoke about their form. The expectation is still that they're going to score like 1.7 goal. That's still the expectation. So even when you look at it over the next 3 games, having one or two Everton assets is not a bad idea. It's not. I'm not saying it's a great one. I'm just saying it's not. But it all makes sense. I mean, it all makes sense. There's a lot of people are gonna get Richarlison. Like a lot of people are getting Richarlison and Calvin Lewin. And then the third team is Arsenal, the Gunners. So the Gunners will be playing Crystal Palace away. Last season they scored 2 goals in this game. Over 5 years they averaged 2 goals in this game, right? But again, last season they conceded 2 goals in this game, which meant it was a draw. And over 5 years they averaged 2 goals conceded per game, and they've never kept a clean sheet ever in this fixture. And in the first leg they scored 2 goals and they conceded 2 goals at home. Like you literally, like you cannot write this. This is insane. Their form though is like 1.3 goals per match, but we know Arteta is on the wheel now, and since Arteta is taking over, they scored 2 goals against United, right? And yeah, they conceded 1 goal per match for the past 3 games. The expected goal, again, this number is not taking into account that Arteta is on the wheel. So the players are motivated because there's a new coach, new voice in the change room. Players are motivated. I think they're going to score 1.5 goals per match, which means they're going to score 1.5 goals per match. I don't know how they're going to score 1.5 goals per match in one game. Maybe the other goal will be half a goal. Anyways, yeah, and that's Arsenal. If we look at it over the next 3 games, yeah, against Chelsea is not the best team when it comes to defending, right? And they have Sheffield United at home. Sheffield is like a solid team, to be honest. They are quite a solid team, but the thing is, Sheffield have been struggling. Well, they struggled against us. When I say us, I mean the Pool Boys, Liverpool, and City, of course. So if we look at this, last season they scored 2 goals. Arsenal in these games, they averaged 2 goals per match. Over 5 years, only 1. In the first leg, they averaged 1 goal per match in these games. And they averaged 1.7 goals conceded in these 3 games in the first leg. So, if you want Aubameyang, if you want to go and spend 11 million on Aubameyang, good luck, buddy. Anyways, good luck. And then the next team is Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Wanderers. They'll be playing Newcastle at home. So you cannot write what I'm about to read out for you. In the first leg, they scored 1 goal. They conceded 1 goal in their away fixture. Last year, in this fixture, they scored 1 goal. Over 5 years, in this fixture, they averaged 1 goal. Last year, in this fixture, they conceded 1 goal. Over 5 years, they averaged 1 goal. Their form is only 1 goal per match, well, 1.3, but 1 goal. And the expected goals for is 1 goal per match, meaning the chances they're creating are for 1.4 goals per match. I'm saying they're going to score 1 goal in this fixture. So even though it's green and stuff, and it's Newcastle versus Wolves, Newcastle is only going to score 1 goal, which was a bit of a dilemma for me because I have Jimenez, right? It's a dilemma because I have Jimenez. So now, obviously, based on that, I need to let go of Jimenez. I need to say, Jimenez, goodbye, bye, Jimenez. Or what I could do is that I could bench Jimenez. No, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather say goodbye than bench him and find another player. I mean, Ings is in form. Maybe I'll go for Ings. Who knows? We'll see. And then the next, but if we look at Wolves, okay, we need to be fair. Let's look at Wolves for their next 3 games. They have Newcastle, Southampton, and then Liverpool. So last season in these 3 games, right, they scored 0.7 goals per match. Over 5 years, they average about 0.7 goals per match in these 3 games. But they conceded 2 goals in these 3 games per match and 2 goals over 5 years. Oh snap, I forgot. Wolves, the reason why this looks like this is because Wolves were only in the league from like last season. I mean, isn't that obvious? That's why it was like a sea of ones, because the game was won. So yeah, so we can't really look at the history. But then I think we can, because the history mirrored with the first leg, in conjunction with their past 3 games. They're scoring ones. I mean, they're in the ones. So I think it makes sense. It doesn't look like they're gonna score more than 1 goal per match in these games. And I don't know if it's Jota is gonna score, or the other dude, or Jimenez, or Traore. I have no idea. And because of that, it's a bit of a risk for me to keep Jimenez, I think. So I'm gonna toss him, and then I'll tell you who I'm gonna put in. And then the next team is West Ham. West Ham is whack. I'm moving on. And then Leicester. Leicester last season against Southampton at home, they scored 1 goal, but then again they didn't have Brendan Rodgers. Over 5 years, they average 1 goal per match against Southampton at home. Last season, they conceded 2 goals. Then over 5 years, they average 1.4 goals. In the first fixture, the first leg, the away game, we all know that Leicester walloped Southampton. They scored 9 goals, guys. I mean, 9 goals. And Southampton didn't score anything. If we look at Leicester's form, they're scoring a little under 2 goals. But to be fair, they played City and they played Liverpool in the past 3 games. So it's not gonna look too rosy, obviously. And their average conceded goals 1.7, again for the same reason. When it comes to chances created, it's like 1.7. They're scoring like what they create. It means the quality of the chances they're creating. I check at chances for the goals they're scoring. But I think that they're gonna score 3 goals. This is something that I think, right? I think they're gonna score 3 goals against Southampton. They're gonna score 3 goals. But now, if we look at Leicester, obviously you can't just look at one game. If we look at their next 3 games, they have Southampton, they have Burnley, and then they have West Ham at home. And the expectation is that in these 3 games, they're going to score about 2 goals per match, right? Even though last season it was like ones and so on, it's because they didn't have Brendan Rodgers. They have Brendan Rodgers now. They're playing for something, they're playing like a team that wants to win something. They want to win top 4, they want to win top 2, they want to play Champions League, they want to possibly challenge for the league. That's what they want. So they are playing for something. These are players that are motivated. So unfortunately, you cannot statistically crunch the numbers and say, oh, motivation at 0.5. No. And then the next team is Sheffield United. Unfortunately, Sheffield United, there's no history because they were not in the league last season, but their form is not great. But granted, in their 2 of their past 3 games, they played against Liverpool and City. So You can't really look at their form. It's not really fair. They are generally a decent enough team, and all of us have Landstrom, so then some of us want, like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know. But that's all I have to say about Sheffield United. And then we have Manchester United. Manchester United. I'm a Liverpool fan, by the way. I'm one of the pool boys, so I hate Manchester United with a passion, and I enjoy watching them suffer. I enjoy it. It's pleasurable. But then again, it's always nice when you have like decent competition because it makes the game fun. So I wish them all the best. They're playing Norwich at home. Probably the worst team in the league because they are playing their football. They are trying to be ball players, and they unfortunately don't have the quality. They have two decent players, in which are Cantwell and obviously actually they have three, and what's his name, Buendia, and they have the other guy, Crosswell. They have four decent players. I think it's Crosswell and I forget his name, Westwood or something. I forget his name, and obviously Timo Pukki. So because United is going to be playing Norwich at home, in the first leg United banged in 3 goals in the away game. They scored 3 and they conceded 1, right? And their form is 2 goals per match while conceding 1, and their expected goals is a little under 2. So the quality of chances they're creating, my expectation is that they're going to score 1.9 goals in this game. And in the first leg, in the 3 goals that they scored, Rashford scored 1 and assisted. Martial scored 1. And then the other one I think was scored by Pereira or something. So now, as a result, let's look at United when it comes to their next 3 fixtures. The next 3 fixtures are, they have obviously Norwich, we've spoken about Norwich, and then they have Liverpool, and then they have Burnley. So my expectation is that in these games they're going to score about 1.7 goals per match in these 3 goals. That's kind of my expectation. And because last season they averaged 1.5 goals, because obviously there's Liverpool in there, but then they scored 2 goals in this fixture actually last season. If you get the United players, you have to be careful because they're playing Liverpool in game week 23. Now the thing is, what you have to check is who are they going to play in game week 24 to 25 to 26. So let's do 26. No, I need last completed game 23. So let's see. They'll be playing Burnley and then Wolves and then Chelsea. So I suppose you can keep them for up until game week 25. So with that said, my transfers that I made, and guys, I'm showing you because y'all are my people. The transfers that I made. Why is this guy yellow now? Head injury. Damn, if he has a head injury, he's definitely not gonna play. Oh no. So the transfers I made was Rashford for Jimenez, right? And Ali for Madison. Ali for Madison, Rashford for Jimenez. Those are the transfers I made. But then the other thing that, guys, we need to talk about is obviously game week 24. Liverpool have a double game week. And my thoughts, and these are my thoughts, please don't shoot me for my own thoughts. My thoughts are that I'm going to try and do a triple Liverpool situation. I'm thinking of going double at the back with Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, and then do Danny Ings. Well, I can't afford that. And then do Danny Ings. Danny Ings in game week 24 will be playing. Who will he be playing? Where's Southampton? We're playing Crystal Palace, man. After that, where's Southampton? Why am I not seeing? Oh, Liverpool. Oh, ew. Yeah, but then when he plays Liverpool, I can just bench him. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was everything that you expected. I hope you loved it. I hope it was fun. And I hope you learned from it. And if you have any tips or comments, come on, just put it in the comments. And if you want me to share my spreadsheet with you, with pleasure, I will do that for free. With pleasure. Anyways, guys, good luck for the rest of the season, and I hope you have a ball, like literally. Bye.